If you don't feel rich right now, that might actually be the clearest sign you're on your way to building real wealth. I know it sounds wrong, but hear me out. The people truly building wealth rarely feel wealthy in the moment. Why? Because they're too focused on doing the quiet, consistent work that actually creates it: saving, investing, learning, building, while everyone else is busy trying to look rich. If you've ever wondered whether you're on the right path, today I want to share 7 subtle signs you're quietly getting rich, even if it doesn't feel like it yet, because the wealthiest people don't wait until they feel wealthy to act with intention. They always act first, and the money follows. The first sign: you feel rich in time, not just money. Most people spend their whole lives chasing money. The truly wealthy eventually start chasing something far more valuable: time. If you've noticed yourself savoring slow mornings, quiet evenings, and the ability to say no to things you don't want to do, you're already tapping into a kind of wealth that can't be measured in dollars. When you're in survival mode, time is the first thing you lose. Every hour is spoken for: commuting, working, hustling, juggling bills. You trade your hours for money, and there's never enough of either. Days blur together because you're constantly rushing from one obligation to the next. But when your finances stabilize and your systems run on autopilot, investments growing without your constant watch, savings happening automatically, bills no longer a source of dread, you suddenly notice something new: breathing room. And your spending changes. You start buying convenience instead of chasing discounts. You hire help for the chores that drain you. You choose quality over quantity because you value your hours more than your possessions. I know someone who reached this stage quietly. They stopped chasing every extra dollar and started designing their life around the hours they wanted to live, not the income they wanted to brag about. They spent afternoons walking with their kids, mornings reading, evenings cooking instead of eating takeout in the car. From the outside, nothing about their life screamed rich, but they were living entirely on their own terms. And that's the highest form of wealth. Here's the secret: when you buy back your time, you're not just freeing your schedule, you're freeing your mind. You're making space for rest, creativity, and the kind of thinking that leads to even bigger opportunities down the road. If you're craving slowness, protecting your calendar, and valuing time over. Sign 2: your focus is on the long game, not quick wins. While most people chase fast money bonuses, tax refunds, or trending stocks, you've stepped off that treadmill entirely. You've swapped the thrill of quick wins for the quiet power of staying in the game. You think in years, sometimes decades. Instead of asking what will make me money today, you ask what will still be paying me in 10 or 20 years. You've come to value compounding over instant gratification, and that makes you rare. This mindset isn't glamorous. It means embracing moves that look dull from the outside, ignoring every flashy trend, tuning out the noise of buy now, sell now, and building something steadily and without fanfare. Consider the investor who kept buying during the 2008 financial crisis while panic reigned around them. People called it reckless. A decade on, those boring purchases had multiplied in value, some 2, 3, 4 times over. That's the quiet power of long-term thinking. It turns patience into profit. Most people can't play that game. That's precisely why the ones who do tend to come out ahead. Number 3, you've built a financial buffer, and you don't brag about it. Most people don't realize the value of a financial buffer until life blindsides them. And by then, it's usually too late. When you've quietly built one, you're not just saving money. You're buying peace of mind, freedom, and control. It's the difference between lying awake at night worrying about a car repair and sleeping soundly knowing you could handle it without breaking a sweat. While others post pictures of vacations, cars, and designer outfits, your flex is invisible. Months of expenses tucked away. An emergency fund you hope you'll never need. Investments you could tap if life demanded it. And here's the best part: you don't need likes or comments to validate your progress. Your validation is the calm you feel when the unexpected happens. I once knew someone who lost their job and saw their lifestyle collapse within 30 days. Contrast that with someone holding a 6-month cushion. They can choose their next move deliberately instead of grabbing the first offer out of desperation. That's real power. Most people build theirs only after disaster. You built yours before. That's not luck, that's foresight. And foresight is one of the clearest signs you're not just earning, you're building wealth. You're growing your income without growing your lifestyle. This is where most people quietly hand back their wealth without realizing it. A raise comes in, and almost immediately, so does a bigger apartment, a newer car, fancier holidays, a wardrobe upgrade. Lifestyle inflation is silent, automatic, and devastating to long term wealth. You've broken that pattern. When your income rises, your expenses don't automatically follow. You understand that being able to afford something and choosing to buy it are two very different decisions. Here's what makes that powerful. The gap between what you earn and what you spend is your real wealth engine. Every dollar you don't redirect into lifestyle is a dollar that can compound in investments, strengthen your financial cushion, or open the door to your next opportunity. Consider two people who both doubled their income within 3 years. The first made it obvious: a luxury apartment, a brand new sports car, tropical getaways every other month. They looked wealthy. Then they lost their job, and within 90 days, they were financially wiped out. The second, call her Sarah, doubled her income too, but kept her modest home, drove her paid off car, and quietly directed the difference into investments. A decade later, she's financially independent, no announcement, no reveal, just steady, invisible progress. From the outside, that approach looks boring, but boring done consistently and without drama is exactly how lasting wealth is built. Money has become a tool, not the goal. At some point, the game changes. You stop treating money as the finish line and start seeing it as a vehicle. The question is no longer how much can I get, but what do I want money to do for me? This is why truly wealthy people spend on tools that help them grow, services that save them time, and experiences that actually matter, while ignoring the status purchases meant to impress strangers. They're not chasing money anymore, they're directing it. So when you see money as a tool, it stops controlling you. Instead of working harder to earn more just to keep up with rising expenses, you focus on using what you have to create freedom, security, and impact. And that shift, from chasing to steering, is one of the clearest signs you're not just earning wealth, you're mastering it. You've stopped making money the main topic of conversation. When money is tight, it takes up all the mental space. Every bill is a weight. Every purchase triggers anxiety. Every decision loops back to, can I afford this? But once you've built solid financial systems, automated savings, consistent investments, a debt-free foundation, money starts to quiet down. It stops being the daily emergency demanding your attention. And in that space, bigger questions begin to surface. How do I protect more time for the people I love? What work actually energizes me? What kind of mark do I want to leave? Money hasn't lost its importance. It just isn't the center of the story anymore. It's the steady engine running quietly in the background while you direct your energy toward what genuinely matters. You've mastered living below your means. This is one of the most underrated indicators of real wealth, and one of the least glamorous, but it's powerful. You're not penny pinching or denying yourself joy. You've simply designed a life where your spending is thoughtful. You've stopped trying to impress others with what you buy. Instead, you spend in ways that genuinely improve your life. And that mindset shift changes everything. I once met a millionaire who drove a 12-year-old sedan and lived in a modest home. Not because he couldn't afford the luxury, but because to him, better didn't mean leather seats or a granite kitchen. Better meant freedom. The freedom to take a month off without worry. To invest in a new venture without fear. To say no to things that didn't align with his values. What most people don't realize is that living below your means isn't about sacrifice. It's about margin. That gap between what you earn and what you spend. That's your wealth engine. Keep that space open month after month, and you're giving your future self more freedom, more choices, more power. Over time, that margin compounds into something far more valuable than any flashy purchase: peace of mind and autonomy. And once you have those two things, you've already entered a level of wealth most people never reach, even if their income is higher. Things. You're already wealthy in the most valuable currency there is. In conclusion, quiet progress, lasting freedom. If you recognize even a few of these signs, you're already ahead of most people. Wealth rarely announces itself with fireworks. It shows up as quiet confidence, the steady knowledge that your future is being built one intentional choice at a time. So keep going, because if it doesn't feel like you're getting rich yet, you probably are. Just quietly. If this resonated with you, remember, the habits you're building now are the ones that will create your freedom later.